Nick saying Maroon to New Jersey. That's a good destination. I was thinking, like, as you were talking there, Hoppy, I was thinking, like, what are some good destinations for Maroon, and what are some possible contenders? Now, I know New Jersey, I mean, they're in a tough division right now, and they're not like at the top of it, so they're not maybe a contender at this moment.
Yeah.
But like, what are some other teams that like Maroon could go to that you're like, oh, he can maybe get another cup?
Well, maybe we should do our discussion topic here first. That'll kind of lead into that.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We're caught up on comments. So
expectation just based on average numbers, which I'm sorry, like Greg Wyshynski like does some great stuff for ESPN, even though ESPN fucking sucks for hockey coverage. He at least tries. Him going on Bar Down Beauties with our friends Kirsten and Jesse.
Yep.
He like comes in and just his math is so flawed. He's like, yeah, historically speaking, 76% of the teams that are in come American Thanksgiving get into the playoffs. So that means 2 or 3 teams at most work their way in that aren't currently in. It's like, well, no, I can do some pretty simple like mental math and tell you that it's 4, like just right there. 75% would mean 4 out of 16. And then he's like, my real hot take is that there will be at least 4. And it's like, well, yep, that's what math would say. So it's really not a hot take, you absolute.
Guys, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this. Wait. I don't know if you know this. 1 + 1. Wait for it. Equals 2.
I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Yes. Anyways, the way we're looking at this based on Thanksgiving standings, so not current standings, Isha, hence why I put different teams on the outline. We have 4 teams that are in that are going to miss and 4 teams that are out that are going to get in. And this year, to what Wyshynski was trying to make the point of, there are definitely some teams that are a lot tighter and there's a lot more room for there to be more movers and shakers. Maybe it's 5 or 6, but we're just going to stick with the average and say 4. Let's read off East and West, who was in on Thanksgiving Day. For the Metropolitan, we had the New York Rangers, Washington Capitals, Carolina Hurricanes. In the Atlantic, Boston Bruins, Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning. Wild cards, Toronto Maple Leafs, and Detroit Red Wings. In the Western Conference, we've got the Central Division led by Dallas Stars, Colorado Avalanche, Winnipeg Jets. Pacific Division, Vegas Golden Knights, Vancouver Canucks, Los Angeles Kings. Wild cards, St. Louis Blues, and Seattle Kraken. So first, before we get into the teams that are out and might get in, I want to hear from you, Isha, and I mean anyone that wants to chime in the chat. Give me 4 teams out of those 16 that will not make the postseason.
Oh man, 4 teams. And keep an eye on the chat here. I'll say first, I'm just looking. We'll start just with, in my opinion, the deepest division. I don't think the Capitals are going to make it. So there's 1.
Okay. Isha says no to the Capitals.
Philly is not going to make it.
Completely agree. They're definitely not one of the ones that are in. So
sorry.
Problematic for you. Do I need to reread all of the teams?
No, sorry. I was Ron Burgundy. That was a Ron Burgundy moment. I was looking at I was looking at the outline, so my apologies.
Jesus Christ. I didn't think that it would be this hard for you to come up with teams.
What's the chat saying?
They have not said yet.
Foul one saying, don't say it. Don't say it.
So are you just tapping out? Is this too overwhelming?
It's not too overwhelming. I'm just thinking too much about it on the.
Okay, well, while you do it, please don't listen to me, Isha, because I don't want to confuse you more. I'll start reading off the teams that were not in the order of rankings at the time on Thanksgiving in the U.S., which is the superior Thanksgiving. Eastern Conference, Philadelphia Flyers, New York Islanders, Pittsburgh Penguins, Buffalo Sabres, Montreal Canadiens, New Jersey Devils, Ottawa Senators, and Columbus Blue Jackets. Western Conference, we have the Anaheim Ducks, which Jesse Pierce, only one that was on them early for our preseason rankings. Arizona Coyotes, Calgary Flames, Nashville Predators, Minnesota Wild, Edmonton Oilers, Chicago Blackhawks, San Jose Sharks. So anyone in the chat that has opinions on teams that will fall out or teams that will get in, drop them in. We want to see what you think. And Isha, have I delayed enough for you to come up with at least one more team that was in that won't be?
Yeah. I think Seattle, I don't think is going to be in either.
Okay. To start.
Man. The Blues too. I'm still not convinced, even though they've looked good out of the gate.
Okay.
And we need
one more. East or West. Don't care which. Nick Terhar chiming in. Devils, Nashville, Edmonton, Philly will make it. Interesting picks. I agree with, on average, 2 of those, because I got 1 that I agree with and 2 that I'm going to kind of give little half points for. So,
yeah, I think that the Panthers could still fall out of it.
Florida Panthers.
I know I ragged the puck too long there, but thank you for
a minute. Yeah, for a minute. You got there eventually. I agree with 3 of your picks. Okay. I'm still torn in thinking that with how bad Washington started and how good they've looked since, I had them as a bubble team to start the year. I'm inclined to think that they'll find a way to at least get the last wildcard spot. I really just don't believe in Detroit, sadly. So for me, it's going to be the Florida Panthers, Detroit Red Wings, St. Louis Blues, and Seattle Kraken. I genuinely don't think that the Central Division will change at all. Maybe the 3 will shift, but Dallas, Colorado, and Winnipeg, far and away the 3 best teams.
Dallas is good, man.
Was anyone not expecting that to be the case?
No, but I'm just verbalizing my just how impressed I've been with them so far.
And I think that the 3 teams in for the Pacific as well, in some order, those will be your 3 teams.
Yeah.
And again, don't get me wrong, I was not saying that Vancouver would be number 2 in the Pacific, but I was the only one that said they'd be a playoff team in our preseason predictions. And oh my goodness, are they proving us right? Me right. But yeah, St. Louis, I think, are huge frauds. They are getting bailed out by some incredible vintage Jordan Binnington play. I don't think that's sustainable. And I guess we'll see. And Seattle, yeah, I just don't trust them top to bottom, and their goaltending will say that I'm not the most trusting.
The Kings, though, let's sing their praises a little bit as well. Only 3 losses on the season, too.
You know what, though? Man, I don't know what to make of them. They scare the crap out of me because we knew coming into the season that they had a sick roster. My concern was, and still is, goaltending. And Cam Talbot has been great so far this year.
So far, yeah.
Now, I mean, Jeff Merrick, who you'll hear me reference quite a bit because I just think the man is brilliant. And even when he's wrong, he has really creative ways of explaining his vision. And I'm still interested even if he's wrong. He pointed out that the reason Cam Talbot worked in Minnesota and the reason Bill Guerin went after him, so yes, we'll say something nice about the Wild and their GM, he went and got him because he fit the system. He was a goalie that was in the wrong place. And I mean, we can all probably empathize with him being traded to the Ottawa Senators, not being an ideal destination for a goaltender who plays the kind of structure that Cam Talbot does. He is now with a team that is very defensively structured, keep shots to the outside, keep it clean. It's working. Do I think it's sustainable? And do I think he can take them on a playoff run? No, I don't trust them. Will they be a playoff team? Absolutely. Are they going to do anything when they're there? I'm kind of worried about when a team looks at the tape and figures out how to systematically go after the Kings, kind of like we are every year with the Wild, right? Like,
no, for sure.
Season, you're good, but as soon as a team sits down, they're like, we are game planning for 1 to 2 weeks of this team. I think the Kings are susceptible, but god damn is their forward group deep, and their blue line isn't anything like to write home about, but they've got enough pieces there that you're good. So, yeah, dude, they're good. And as long as Cam Talbot keeps doing what he's been doing, they are going to be among the top 3 in the Pacific.
8-1-1 in their last 10.
Yeah, that'll work.
And it's not, and again, the Pacific's not strong, but like the top of it are good teams. So it's an interesting division. Is like it's top heavy, and then the bottoms are like trash. Whereas, like most of the other divisions are like, I'd say 2 out of the other 3 are like they're deep. Like every team is good. Every team is good.
And it's to Nick Gerhardt's point, Kings ranked number 1 expected goal differential per 60 minutes. Ooh. Now, Isha, don't get too excited here, but Glenn, looking into the crystal ball, he's got a feeling Vancouver will win it all. JT Miller is playing great, and the same with Minnesota boy Besser.
He is
Pedersen. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's kind of okay.
Yeah, I mean, Quinn Hughes is like the best defenseman in the National Hockey League. Not a big deal, but no. The thing with Vancouver right now is everything's clicking. Everything is clicking. Demko's healthy. Everyone's buying into the Talkit system. Mikheyev is back and looking good. I know Kuzmenko's been banged up because he took a freaking puck to the face the other day and still practiced, and then they scratched him because.
What's the perfect deadline acquisition for the Vancouver Canucks?
Patrick Maroon, baby. Let's go.
No. What's a better one?
I don't know. Duhaime?
Not from the Wild.
Oh, I was thinking energy player. I don't know who.
Who was the best D partner that Quinn Hughes has ever played with?
Oh, bring Tanev home, baby. Oh no, sorry. I would say that Schenn was up there as well. Quinn Hughes played very, very good with Luke Schenn too. So that's why I got a little confused there. So.
Sure, fair, but it was more sustainable with Tanev. And again,
bring Tanev home, baby. Bring him home.
Calgary doesn't need him.
Nope.
They're in a completely different spot right now. That could be incredible. And dude, imagine if they got him and went after his brother. Because he is a bottom 6 buzzsaw lunatic on coke. Like that's, I don't know how else to explain him.
I need that bobblehead.
Oh man, it's terrifying. Now let's talk about the teams that get in then, Isha. Yeah. Again, reminder in the East, in order of who was out come Thanksgiving: Philadelphia Flyers, New York Islanders, Pittsburgh Penguins, Buffalo Sabres, Montreal Canadiens, New Jersey Devils, Ottawa Senators, Columbus Blue Jackets. Any jump out to you right away for the East? Because again, you picked 2 in each. So that means 2 have to get in for the East. I know I read those fast, but you have the document, so you should be able to read.
Devils, I still am confident. They'll turn it around. They're just too damn good. And I don't want to say the and either the Maple Leafs or Penguins. I don't know.
Maple Leafs are in, so that doesn't make any sense.
Penguins.
Okay, so no Philly, no New York Islanders, no Buffalo, no Montreal.
No.
Wow, and you were the Buffalo Crusher. I think you had
really
in the Atlantic.
Yeah, they have disappointed this year, man. It's been a bad year for the Sabres. Again, on paper going into the season, I had an argument. It was a little bit of a stretch, especially where I put them in my rankings. But I totally thought they'd be a way more competitive team.
Yeah. All right, in the West, Isha, in order again: Anaheim Ducks, Arizona Coyotes, Calgary Flames, Nashville Predators, Minnesota Wild, Edmonton Oilers, Chicago Blackhawks, San Jose Sharks. You got to pick 2.
I'm not a believer right now with the Wild. I'm not a believer with Edmonton. Someone in the chat said Nashville. That's a sneaky good one. So we'll say Nashville is one of them. You know what? We'll go Arizona too. They've looked good this year. They've looked good.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
I am with you again on all but one.
All right. Look at that.
So I swear I'm not a homer. I'm a realist. Pittsburgh will figure it out and make it in. There's been some pretty easily correctable things that have been going wrong for them. And anyone that like cares at all, like whether you love or hate the Penguins, follow Jesse Marshall. He has the best insights on them and provides great video example in his articles on The Athletic. They've been doing some dumb things, and it changes every game what the dumb things are. There's some things that have been persistent, but all of it is correctable. And I'm really curious to see how they go about it. But it's hard for me to write that team off unless there is an injury to a major player, which they're dealing with injuries for Rust and Raquel right now. To me, those aren't major injuries. Major injuries include Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlson, Jerry, who's actually looked much better of late.
Yeah.
And I'd even argue anyone in the top four of the blue line. If you lose Pettersson or Graves, you're probably in trouble. So literally your top two centers, your top four defensemen, and Mike, you are spot on. Sid has been incredible.
Great
he
segue.
will not be discussed at all in the Hart Trophy conversation, which is typical for every year, because why should they? But he has looked awesome. I don't know.
He has been in the conversation, though. I'm just scrolling up here.
I didn't say, but I am still going to believe in Edmonton over Nashville.
I can't.
It hurts me. I shouldn't, but I do.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, they have arguably two of the best players, arguably the two best players in the league. So I'm not going to blame you.